There was a lonely mansion that stood at the very edge of the old town, a giant structure swallowed by vines, dust, and memories no one dared to speak about. People passed by it quickly, lowering their voices, as if the house itself was listening. They said the place was cursed, that no one who entered stayed the same again. Most people laughed off the rumors, yet no one stepped inside. One cold evening, 3 friends, Ayan, Rita, and Hamza, dared each other to explore the abandoned mansion. They were thrill seekers, always looking for excitement, always searching for the next scary challenge. Ayan had heard the mansion was once owned by a wealthy family who vanished overnight. Rita believed the rumors that the house was alive with spirits that whispered in the halls. Hamza said it was all nonsense, but even he couldn't hide the uneasy feeling in his chest. The gate creaked open on its own when they approached, as if the house was waiting for them. A gust of icy wind brushed past their faces. Hamza laughed nervously and said it was just the weather, but Rita pulled her jacket tighter around herself. The house loomed above them like a sleeping beast. Inside, the mansion smelled of mold, damp wood, and something metallic, like dry blood. Their flashlights flickered as they stepped into the enormous hallway. Old portraits lined the walls, their eyes seeming to follow every movement. Dust rose from the floor with every step, and the silence around them felt heavier than darkness. Ayan pointed to a grand staircase leading to the upper level. "Let's check the top floor first," he whispered, as if speaking too loudly would wake something. The wooden steps groaned under their weight. At the top, a long corridor stretched into shadow, doors on both sides slightly open, inviting them in. The first room they entered was a child's bedroom. Toys were scattered on the floor, untouched for decades. A small rocking horse stood in the corner, and as they shone their lights on it, it began to rock slowly on its own. Rita grabbed Ayan's arm in fear. Hamza insisted it was just the wind, but the windows were sealed shut. They hurried out and entered the second room. This one was a study, filled with old books, a broken clock, and a desk covered in scattered papers. Ayan picked one up. It was a diary page written in rushed, trembling handwriting. The words read, "The house speaks, the walls breathe, it wants us. It won't let us leave." Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them. Rita screamed. Hamza rushed to open the door, but it felt glued shut, as if an invisible hand was holding it closed. The lights flickered violently, the air turning ice cold. A deep whisper filled the room. It was soft at first, then grew louder, closer, almost as if it came from under the floor. "Get out!" When the door finally flew open by itself, the 3 ran back into the hallway without a moment's hesitation. But the house wasn't done with them. Portraits on the walls had changed. The painted faces now showed twisted expressions of terror, as if the people in the paintings were screaming silently. The hallway stretched longer than before. Ayan felt his breath tighten. "This wasn't this long when we came in," he whispered. They ran toward the staircase, but it wasn't there anymore. Instead, the hallway turned into a maze of twisting corridors that led them deeper into the mansion's gut. Rita's flashlight suddenly went out. She sobbed, gripping Ayan's hand. From the darkness behind them came the soft sound of footsteps. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Hamza turned around and shone his light at the end of the hall. A tall, shadow-like figure stood there, thin, faceless, yet somehow watching them. Its long arms scraped the walls as it walked toward them, leaving black marks behind like burned trails. "Run!" Ayan shouted. They sprinted through the hallway, turning corners without knowing where they were going. Doors slammed behind them, windows cracked on their own, and the floorboards shook as if the house was alive. Finally, they stumbled into the main hall. The front door, once closed, was now wide open. Moonlight spilled inside, like the house was giving them one last chance. They didn't question it. They dashed outside and didn't stop running until they reached the street. When they turned back, The mansion stood still, silent, and dark again, as if nothing had happened. The next morning, the townspeople found the mansion's gate shut tight, locked with chains that no one had seen before. But one thing was clear: the house had let them go, only because it wasn't finished with them yet.